Don't come to the wedding, Dad texted coldly. Everyone's sick of you and your kids, my sister added with a laughing emoji. I responded, then I'll cut off the wedding funds. 10 minutes later, I halted the shared payments I'd been covering. They were still laughing in the chat, until they saw what happened next. Imagine this. Years spent as the family's unseen benefactor, pouring my very essence, heart, time, and hard-earned money into their lives. Then, a single text message shatters it all. Stay away from the wedding. You and your kids are too much. Can you truly fathom that? For me, Leonardo, that wasn't just a text. It was the seismic shock that split the ground beneath my feet. A brutal, final blow. It cracked open something deep within me, screaming that it was past time to reclaim my life. I'm 36, a stage actor, the kind of world where the seats creak with history and the curtains carry the mingled scent of dust and faded dreams. My life is a constant hustle. Plays, commercials, those late-night voiceovers for obscure toothpaste brands. My wife, Mara, is a night nurse, a force of nature embodying quiet strength. Together, our life is a whirlwind of beautiful chaos, dominated by our 6-year-old triplets, Eva, Nico, and Gia. Our apartment is a vibrant tapestry of finger paint smudges and the ghost of a tape-engineered couch boat. In my family, my original family, that is, I was always the perpetually useful one. The charming rogue who could sweet-talk a discount, effortlessly host a party, or reliably float alone until payday. Then there's my sister, Bianca, 32. She's got the marketing job, hair that inexplicably defies humidity, and a fiancé, Marco, who styles his cufflinks statement pieces. To my mom, Bianca is the undeniable star. When Mom mentions my stardom, she always appends it with, "But in your own way, Leo," like a patch on an old jacket. And believe me, that barb still finds its mark. It was a Wednesday late, deep backstage between shows. I was gnawing on a banana, my face still caked with stage makeup. My phone buzzed, the La Famiglia group chat. The icon, a stock photo of Spaghetti Bianca had picked, remained unchanged for years. Then came Dad's text, stark and in all caps. "Leo, stay away from the wedding." Just like that. No hello. Dad isn't typically dramatic, but he loves to cloak control in the guise of policy. 2 bubbles instantly popped up. Bianca, LOL. Then, that utterly infuriating crying laughing emoji. And then, the true gut punch. "Seriously, Leo, it's adults only and the whole family is tired of you and your kids." She even spelled, "you're correctly," a precise little twist of the knife. Bianca, I'd learned, always spelled correctly when she meant to be cruel. I just stared at the screen, the backstage hallway smelling faintly of stale coffee. Actors whispered their lines in the wings, a distant hum. My thumbs hovered. I typed, "Then I'll stop funding the marriage." It looked absurd to write to my sister, yet it was undeniably true. All those subtle ways I propped them up, deposits, the family phone plan, chunks of the venue balance, just for now streaming services. My Apple Pay history was a literal cartography of my good intentions. But I didn't hit send. My heart hammered, a frantic drum against my ribs. I flipped the phone face down. The audience was settling, a symphony of coughs and murmurs, programs rustling. "Don't do money by text while wearing a wig," I muttered to myself. The stage manager tapped my shoulder. 5-minute call. Places. I slid the phone into my pocket, walked to stage left. My scene partner caught my eye. "You good?" he whispered. "Yeah." I lied, my voice a hollow echo. "Just family stuff." Lights up. Applause. My first line spilled out on pure muscle memory, but Dad's text kept replaying in my head like a disastrous cue. Stay away from the wedding. Like I was a blight, a stain. Like my kids were nothing but irritating noise. That banana, once a comfort, now felt like a rock lodged in my stomach. After the scene, I practically fled to the dressing room. More messages. "Mom, Leo, let's not make drama. We just want a tasteful day. No kids, no chaos. Bianca, you can come to the reception if you promise to keep the triplets away from the dance floor." Marco, "Bro, it's not personal. It's branding. Branding my family." I typed, It's our family, not your content. Then I deleted it, took a deep, ragged breath, and sent just one message. We'll talk later. I did nothing else. Not then. I finished the show, my smile and mask stapled to my face, bowed, and rode the bus home, watching three teenagers share earbuds. Every not personal comment is always personal, I thought, the phrase a bitter taste. Arriving home, I found the triplets asleep in a tangled, colorful pile, like fresh laundry. Mara, still in her scrubs, sat at the kitchen table, calmly eating cold pasta. I kissed her head, then murmured, "They said no kids." She didn't even flinch. "Of course they did," she replied, her voice eerily calm. "What now?" "I don't know," I confessed, "but I think I'm finally done being the quiet sponsor." You see, a text like "stay away from the wedding" isn't an isolated bomb. It's the culmination, the final step in a long, arduous walk over countless small, sharp stones. My childhood home was a loud arena where praise was a competitive sport. Bianca consistently won, performing everything on time, out loud, center stage. I, meanwhile, operated perpetually backstage. I built elaborate sets in the garage with scrap wood, perfecting the art of painting fake bricks that looked real from a distance. Mom would occasionally wander in, offering a detached, "That's nice, Leo, but don't get messy," before whisking Bianca off to yet another leadership event. Dad ran a locksmith shop, a place where he loved to quip, "We open doors," adoring the slogan far more than the actual work. When business faltered, he rented out the brand, eventually working in a warehouse, but still proudly declaring he managed security. If a lock needed fixing, he'd call me. By 20, I was juggling community theater with barista shifts. Money felt like a labyrinth. Acting paid in applause and the occasional pizza, but then, a miracle. Voice gigs and commercials started rolling in. The first time I saw a check for $1,750 for 30 seconds of smiling at a toothbrush, I actually wept in the studio bathroom stall. I sent Mom a photo of the check. Her reply? Bianca had just got a raise, followed by prayer hands. That, apparently, was her idea of balance, applauding one child with both hands. Mara and I met in an acting class. She was there to hone her voice for staff meetings. I was there because my landlord offered me $50 off rent if I taught scene study. She laughed at my jokes, then meticulously refined my resume. We moved into a one-bedroom above a nail salon. Then, the triplets arrived, a joyous, unexpected window you didn't know your house could hold. We became a formidable team, every minute scheduled. Her nights, my rehearsals, daycare, basic math, a perpetual chess match. We mastered the art of passing the baton without a single fumble. The financial entanglement with my family began subtly, always presented as temporary. In 2018, "Leo, can you just put the family on your phone plan? You get union discount, right?" I did. 4 lines quickly ballooned to 7. My parents, Bianca. The bill climbed from $216 to $248 when Dad needed more data, then to $289 when Bianca added an Apple Watch. She once sent a heart emoji. That was my thank you. In 2019, "We're short on rent this month. Can you spot us $400? Dad asked. I sent it. "We'll pay you next week," he promised. Next week eventually grew mold. In 2020, the pandemic canceled their original venue. "We need a new deposit to lock in 2021, Bianca declared. "We'll pay you back when guests RSVP." I paid $1,200. Guests RSVP'd with "cannot attend" and "can't wait," but never a wire transfer. 2021. Cakes are expensive. "Leo, you're good with people. Can you get a discount? Or just cover it and call it your gift?" I leveraged my contacts, secured a discount, then quietly paid, labeling it a gift so I wouldn't have to count it. In 2022, Dad's truck insurance surged. "They screwed me, son." I covered the difference for 3 months. By month 4, he'd conveniently forgotten it was a favor. I kept adding these small payments, each one a thumbtack on a growing corkboard of obligations. A gym membership for Dad's health, Spotify for Mom's cleaning groove, Canva for Bianca's wedding invites, a ring resizing emergency. I told myself it was a season. I told myself it was love. Love is patient, I thought. Love is quiet. Love sets up autopay and never mentions it. But these little moments accumulated like forgotten receipts in a cluttered glove box. At Bianca's bridal shower, no kids, she'd insisted. Yet, she later posted photos of other people's aesthetic kids in matching white. When I inquired, she simply said, "Oh, those are aesthetic kids. Our three are chaotic energy." Then, a family dinner where Dad clinked a glass. A toast to Bianca and Marco, who works so hard and deserves this. I lifted my water, silent. Marco winked at me, as if we shared a private joke. We didn't. Soon after, Bianca announced in the group chat that she and Marco were optimizing finances and everyone should contribute something meaningful to the wedding. I replied, "We already did the venue deposit." Her immediate response, "That was a family gesture, not a gift." A family gesture, meaning it didn't count when they tallied. My triplets aren't props, they're people. They spill juice, tell jokes that make no sense, and call every black car a limo. They innocently asked why they couldn't go to Aunt Bianca's big party. I explained, because it's fancy. We can be fancy, they insisted, wearing capes over their pajamas to prove it. My heart ached for them and for myself. In June, Bianca sent a wedding spreadsheet to the chat. Tasks and dollars. Everyone had a column. Mine read, MC the reception, free. Arrange vendor tips. Use your card. We'll reimburse. Coordinate guest arrival. Arrive 2 hours early. Mara's name had a row dedicated to keep Leo's kids off the dance floor. She despises being called Leo's kids, as if she's merely their babysitter. Mara looked at that spreadsheet and said, her voice laced with weary wisdom, "They don't see you, Leo. Not the way you see yourself. You're bleeding." I knew it, but still I did nothing. I kept rehearsing. I kept paying the phone bill. Until Dad's text hit that Wednesday. Stay away from the wedding. Bianca's laughing emoji. Marco's branding. Mom's tasteful. My thumbs typed a defiant sentence I didn't send. I went on stage and spoke someone else's lines, my own voice lost. The next morning, I woke to 13 messages and a missed call from Mom at 6:12 a.m. We don't speak at 6:12 a.m. unless someone's in the hospital. Her text read, "Think of the optics." Optics. My gaze swept our calendar, a battlefield of daycare times, costume fittings, Mara's night shifts. I checked our bank. $1,142 in checking, $233.18 in savings. The wedding was 9 days away. My card was set to autopay the $1,600 venue balance on Friday. Bianca's promise to Venmo me tomorrow resided in a parallel universe. I poured cereal. Eva asked, her voice small, "Are we invited to the big party?" I replied, "We're always invited to our own kitchen." It wasn't enough, not for her, not for me. Mara placed a gentle hand on my back. "You're allowed to be done," she said, her voice a balm, "even if it's 9 days before their fancy day." I nodded, but still I didn't move. Love makes you slow sometimes. Fear makes you slower. I'm an actor. I can convincingly fake calm. But calm doesn't swipe the card for you. That night, I worked a small gig, reading stage directions for a casting workshop, $40 and a free granola bar. I got home at 10 p.m., the apartment quiet, a rare blessing. I sat at the table with my laptop, opening my bank account. I stared at the auto-pay schedule as if it were a complex script I hadn't auditioned for. I closed it again. I wrote boundaries on a post-it note, remembering a therapist's advice. Writing the word makes it feel more possible. I set the note on my phone and went to bed. The rehearsal dinner invitation arrived via email. Please join us for a sophisticated evening. Attached was a PDF, earth-tone dress code, address, and appointed no children. We'd already arranged a sitter. We dressed in our politest browns and drove. At the venue, a waiter offered Prosecco. Mom hugged me, a hug that felt like I'd already apologized for my existence. Dad's handshake was a cold receipt. Bianca air-kissed near my cheek. Marco grinned. "We'll have fun if you don't, you know," wiggling his fingers as if to imply I'd ruin everything. "I'm just here to eat chicken," I said, my voice flat. Bianca clapped to gather attention. "Before we begin, we'd like to thank family for stepping up," she announced into a mic, her voice perfectly modulated. "Marco's parents for the rehearsal space. My parents for everything. my cousin Danny for the playlist, and Leonardo for emceeing the reception. She paused for applause, then added, "We love your theater voice," as if it were a generous tip. I hadn't agreed. I hadn't even been asked since that damn spreadsheet. I stared at the microphone like it was a coiled snake. Marco offered a small, mocking bravo motion. I sipped my Prosecco, tasting metal. During appetizers, Mom leaned in. "About the kids," she whispered. "Please don't make a scene." "There are 6 of us," I replied, my voice low. "They make scenes out of cardboard. We make peace." She frowned. "Don't be clever. Then don't be cruel," I said softly. Her mouth tightened. "Bianca's day matters. Your feelings are not the main act." I laughed, a small, humorless sound. "That's accurate," I conceded. Halfway through dinner, the venue manager tapped my shoulder. "Hey, Leonardo, the card on file for Friday's balance is yours." "Just confirming." "Confirming what?" I asked, though a cold dread already told me. "That it's still good," he said. "We run it at noon. Balance is $1,600 plus service." "Congrats to your sister." My face burned. "I'm not the groom," I said, "and I'm not the bank." He looked confused, backing away. Bianca materialized instantly, as if on a string. "Don't embarrass us," she hissed. "It's just a hold. We'll move money. You have better points anyway." "Points?" I snapped, the carefully constructed calm cracking. "Am I your credit card or your brother?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." I walked to the bathroom, locking myself in a stall, sitting on the closed lid, staring at the sterile tiles. Laughter filtered through the vent, a mocking symphony. My phone buzzed. "Mara, you okay?" I typed no. She replied, "Then leave." I left the stall, looked at my reflection in the mirror. My earth-toned suit, definitely not my color. The faint residue of stage makeup clinging to my eyebrows from changing too fast. I walked back into the room, found Marco near the bar. "Take my card off the account," I said. He blinked. "We're in the middle of speeches." "I'm in the middle of a boundary," I countered. Bianca swooped in. "What now?" "My card is off your wedding," I stated clearly. "And I'm not emceeing." Heads turned. Mom stood up, as if a pre-written speech was coursing through her veins. "Leonardo," she began, her voice steely. "Not tonight." "Exactly," I said, quiet but firm. "Tonight. Because the bill hits Friday." Silence descended, a special kind of loud in a room filled with music. Dad slowly placed his napkin down, like a judge rendering a verdict. "You agreed to help." "No," I corrected him. "You assigned me to help." Bianca's cheeks flushed crimson. "You're ruining my vibe." "Your vibe," I said, "is expensive, and it's paid for with my kids' shoes." Marco tried a strained joke. "Come on, bro, don't make me call the bouncer." "This isn't a club," I replied, my voice steady. "And I'm not your bro." Mom's voice dropped to the tone that used to make me feel 12 years old. "If you walk now, do not show up Saturday. We won't have you there." I glanced at Mara. She nodded once. I looked at my hands. They weren't shaking. That surprised me. "Clean and simple," I said, my voice resonating with a newfound authority. "This isn't about revenge. This is about closure." I walked to the front desk with the manager. "Delete my card," I instructed. He did. I watched him type, watched him hit the final key. The click was tiny, yet thunderous. Back at the table, I placed my napkin on my plate. "We're leaving," I announced. "We hope your day is nice." "We won't be there." Bianca's jaw dropped. "You can't do this," she hissed. "I just did," I said. We walked out into the parking lot. I exhaled so forcefully my lungs shook. Mara squeezed my hand. "You okay?" she asked. "No," I admitted, "but I'm done." In the car, I pulled up the banking app. Autopays festered there like stubborn weeds. Family phone plan, Spotify, Canva, gym, insurance top-ups, cake balance. One by one, I paused them, then another and another until the last. It took 10 deliberate minutes. My hands, surprisingly, didn't shake. My phone exploded with notifications. The group chat erupted. "Are you serious?" And of course, Bianca's mocking laughing emoji again. I flipped the phone face down. We drove home. The triplets were asleep, cheeks flushed and sweaty, hair plastered to their foreheads. I kissed each one, a profound realization settling over me. I don't have to fund disrespect to have a family. I could just have mine. I expected quiet. Instead, I got fireworks. At 7:12 a.m., Dad called. I let go to voicemail. He immediately texted, "Is your card declining? Call me now." At 7:19, Mom wrote, "They're saying the venue balance is unpaid. What is happening?" At 7:22, Bianca, "OMG, did you really?" Followed by a screenshot of a payment failure message, adorned with confetti emojis like a cruel celebration. At 7:28, the venue manager texted me, "Just confirming we removed your card as requested. The couple will need to provide a new method by 5 p.m. I replied, "Thanks." He sent a human-like thumbs up. By 9:10, I had 12 voicemails. Dad's, "Son, if this is some stunt, fix it." Mom's, "I'm mortified." Bianca's, "You're an embarrassment." Marco's, "Bro, chill then, dude. Seriously, chill." At 10:03, the family phone plan officially fractured. I called the carrier from the sidewalk, the triplets happily counting cracks in the pavement beside me. "I need to split my line," I stated. The rep, bless her, was kind. "We can move your 3 lines to a new account today," she offered. "The others will need to set up their own." "Great," I said, feeling a weight lift. She warned, "People get mad about this." "I can take it," I told her, and for the first time, I truly believed it. At noon, Mom sent a novel-length message, replete with bullet points. She loves bullet points when she's furious. "You humiliated your sister. You used money as a weapon. You ruined a rehearsal. You will pay the balance today and apologize." I replied with 4 clear lines. "I removed my card. I won't MC. We won't attend. Do not contact my kids about this." She replied, "Unbelievable. Dad, ungrateful. Bianca, uninvited." Mara, meanwhile, quietly made sandwiches. I wasn't hungry, but I ate anyway. The triplets asked if we were still going to the fancy party. "No," we said. "We're having our own party Saturday." "With capes?" they asked, their eyes wide. "With capes, we promised." At 2:41, Bianca posted an Instagram story. Taylor Swift lyrics over a photo of champagne. One aunt commented, "Ignore the haters." Another, "Fam over everything." I closed the app, reopened it, then closed it again. Asterisk, I'm a human. I make it worse for myself sometimes. Asterisk, by 4:30, Marco texted me a screenshot of a bank transfer from his parents. "Crisis averted," he wrote, adding a flexing arm emoji. 10 minutes later, another text. "Except now the florist is asking for the final payment earlier. Can you spot it? They know you." I didn't know them. I had simply gotten them the business. I typed no. He replied, "Petty." I sent nothing back. At 6 p.m., Mom called Mara, the classic flanking maneuver. Mara put the phone on speaker. Mom's voice, syrupy soft, began, "Sweetheart, help me understand why Leo is doing this." Mara's response was a sharp, clean cut. "Because you told him to stay away from your wedding." Mom sputtered, "We didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" Mara pressed, her voice unwavering. Silence. Then Mom started to cry. Mara, unmoved, said, "We can talk after the wedding." Mom, through sniffles, declared, "So never." Mara's final, definitive word. "If you keep talking like this, then maybe." The next day, I focused on practicalities. We established our own phone plan, separate and distinct. We moved all our personal auto-pays to a new card and canceled anything with family in the name. I sent 4 concise emails to the venue. "Please direct all further payment requests to the couple." To the florist, "I am not involved in payment. Wishing you a nice event." To the DJ, "I won't be MC. Please coordinate announcements with the couple." To Bianca, "If vendors contact me, I'll forward them to you." The florist replied, "Understood." The DJ, with a thumbs-up emoji, added, "Families, man." The venue manager wrote, "Thank you." Bianca's reply, "You're disgusting," followed by another laughing emoji. She really does love to laugh when she's losing. The wedding day dawned. We woke at 7 a.m. Eva asked, "Are we going to the party?" "We're going to the park," we replied. We packed grapes, a soccer ball, and 3 capes. We took family photos on a cracked basketball court, the sun warm on our faces. We were not dressed in earth tones. We were a vibrant box of crayons. Mara set up a Bluetooth speaker, and we danced to a playlist we dubbed Household Bops. A stranger's dog joined our chaotic joy, and the triplets screamed with delight. A couple on a nearby bench clapped for us. At noon, my phone lit up, the group chat. "Where are you? I can't believe you. They're asking the photographer to leave early because we lost time. The cake is late. We hate you." The messages piled up. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and kicked a soccer ball to Nico, who kicked it back and tumbled over, laughing hysterically. At 4 p.m., a cousin sent a photo of the wedding. It was beautiful. Bianca looked like she'd stepped off a magazine cover. Marco like a walking hair product ad. There were no kids. The light was perfect. The caption read, "Family Forever." I looked at the photo, feeling a strange blend of anger and relief. I could miss something and still be entirely okay. At 6 p.m., after the ceremony, the real meltdown commenced. The florist wrote me anyway. They're short on the tip envelope. "Sorry to bother." I replied, "I'm not covering it." 10 minutes later, Bianca texted, "You're cruel." 30 minutes after that, "The DJ needs to run a show. You were supposed to do it." I typed, "Not available." She shot back, "You think you're righteous, but you're just broke." I didn't reply. She called. I let it ring. She left a voicemail, her voice tight with fury, calling me small. I saved it in a folder I labeled Weather. Hearing the storm, I thought, helps me truly believe in the calm we've chosen. That night, our apartment smelled of pancakes and hairspray because, yes, the kids wore their capes, and we held our own home reception. A fancy name for putting a paper towel roll on a chair and calling a microphone. The triplets gave speeches, mostly comprised of robot noises. We laughed until our faces ached. 2 days later, Dad asked to meet. We chose a diner. He arrived in a shirt pulled too tight across his chest, as if trying to inhabit a younger man. He ordered coffee and sugar, treating them like weapons. "You made your mother cry," he began. "She told me to stay away." I responded. "She didn't mean it," he insisted. "She typed it." I countered. He leaned back. "We've done so much for you," he started again. I placed a small stack of printed bank statements on the table. I didn't shove them. I slid them. Highlighted lines. The $1,200 deposit, the $289 phone plan, the $400 rent, the $150 insurance, the $80 Canva, the $64 Spotify, the $248 cake. 12 months of temporary bills. "I'm not here for an argument," I said, my voice steady. "I'm here to set terms for the future." He stared at the pages, his discomfort clear. He's never been good with numbers unless they favor him. "You keeping score?" he asked, a smug sneer on his face. "I'm keeping boundaries," I said. "I'm done being the quiet sponsor. If you want something from me, you ask, you accept my rate or my answer, and you don't go near my kids with threats." He laughed, a humorless bark. "Rate? My time has value," I asserted. "So does my peace." He stood up. "You always were dramatic." "I'm an actor," I said. "It's my job, but this isn't drama. This is policy." He left without paying. I paid. I can handle a $7 coffee if it means I don't have to fund a $1,600 wedding balance. For a week, the group chat was a wildfire of long messages, copy-pasted quotes about forgiveness, screenshots, and a weird meme from an aunt about wolves. I muted it. Mara and I simply lived our lives. I went to rehearsal. The director remarked, "You're sharper this week." I was. I had energy now left over from my own life, not constantly drained. The triplets noticed too. "Daddy, you're silly again," Gia declared. I hadn't even realized I'd stopped. Bianca posted one more story, a black screen with white text. "Some people show who they are." Yes, they do, I thought. Silence followed. Not peace yet, but space. I used to believe being a good son meant saying yes with my wallet, my time, my throat dry from unspoken truths. I thought love was letting other people narrate my day and call it family. I don't think that anymore. My mother now sends photos of centerpieces, no caption. Sometimes I send back a heart. Sometimes I don't. My father texted last week, "Garage keypad acting up." I replied, "I can come Friday at 3." My rate is $95 per hour plus parts. He wrote, never mind. He hired a stranger. I slept fine. Bianca hasn't apologized. She might never. She still posts beige quotes about grace, still tags brands in her stories. We're not blocked. We're also not close. I mailed a simple wedding gift. A month late, a plain set of everyday plates. No note, no card. They can eat on them or throw them away. Either choice is theirs to make. At home, we are quieter, not silent. The triplets don't do silent, but quieter in my head. We build a budget that doesn't include family emergencies as a hidden line item. We started a jar labeled camp, where the kids draw their initials with markers that stain. We toss in fives and ones, and they clap for a five like it's a miracle. And you know what? In a way, it truly is. So after hearing all this, I have to ask, what would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to draw a hard line with family like this? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear your thoughts.